Peace. This is Brother Hatim coming to you live from the Shisha Lounge. The Shisha Lounge at 2369 North High Street. Come on out and I'll get you a hookah. It's one of those nights. So if you want the hookah, you can come on out and get it. If not, just enjoy yourself and listen as I run through quickly what I got to cover. Of course, first, I want to send out shots to those things that support me. Once again, I'm at the Shisha Lounge where they keep me coffeed up. They got me a hookah, and I'm enjoying myself. I'm at peace, and we're gonna have a good night tonight. I'm running through it quick, so I want you to listen up to some of the information I have, because some of it's gonna help your life, and hopefully some of it will piss you off and make you want to make a comment. You know what I'm saying? Or at least get you thinking, because that's the goal of FreeStyle Friday. You know, I'm coming off the head and some of the stuff that I've been researching over the last couple of weeks. I haven't done the show. This will be in almost 2 weeks. In over 2 weeks. I know I didn't do it 2 weeks. 1 week I was in Illinois at NIU. Northern Illinois University for a summer reunion. We drove all the way up there. By the time I got there, I was exhausted. I didn't feel like doing a Freestyle Friday, because actually it was Freestyle Saturday, sort of like right now. But my energy's a little bit higher because I drove all the way to NIU because I was looking forward to being at the summer reunion. Although I didn't want to go at first, it was worth the trip, and it was very energizing, and it got me ready. I came back last week, and I wanted to do the show last week, but what happened was I was looking forward to doing this new training that we got going on in the community. I'm calling it a hip-hop based rites of passage motto. Where we working with youth and some adults that's coming out. We combine forces to put something together to help our people understand hip-hop as a culture, and taking them through the steps of rites of passage and learning how to use the culture of hip-hop, use the power of hip-hop to positively influence their lives. That's something very close to my heart, because through the years of being introduced to hip-hop, because in a sense I'm old enough to remember life before hip-hop, but I quickly immersed myself into hip-hop, discovered my African heritage, started looking into African spirituality and African culture, and made a full circle right back to hip-hop, and found that hip-hop was not really separate from the things that I was studying, although I thought it was. So now I brought me around full circle, and now I can share the information that I have with young people as well as adults who are really interested in learning what hip hop is and what we can do as a people with hip hop. It's going to be a very, very powerful thing, and I can't wait to see what emerge and what type of inspiration we will be able to provide some of the young people that's going to be involved. So I'm looking forward to the coming weeks. The class is an invitation only. If you want an invitation, you want to be invited, please get in touch with myself or some of the other organizers who will be posting things on their social network, trying to get people interested in coming out. But those of you that listen to gye-nyamejourney and have been listening to gye-nyamejourney or some of my other radio shows, just feel free to drop me a note on my Spreaker or Spreaker station, or drop a note at www.gye-nyamejourney.com, or if you got my email address or my cell phone number, you can send me a text. You know what I'm saying? And those of you that are not necessarily in Ohio, don't be put off by it, because one of the things that I'm planning to do is to start broadcasting all of my events, because one of the things I want to do is cut out the bullshit. I noticed that people are a little bit more controlled when a mic is out. They're a little bit And some people are a little bit more open. And I want to start documenting these conversations, because some of the young people and some of the adults that are around the table are saying some very powerful things that's just spoken out into the universe, and no actions are taking upon the thoughts that come out. So what I want to do is start documenting some of these powerful thoughts, and hopefully those people who are listening can review and use some of the good ideas that may come out, because I mean, the ideas do us no good if we just sit on them and don't take action on them. So one of the things I want to do is motivate people to take action. So going back to sending out love to those things that I love, I want to also send out shots to Oxy Water. It's coming back. You can check them out at www.oxywater.com if the website is still up. But they coming back. And I just found a stash of Oxy Water, a whole stash, and somebody's going to bring me some, and I can't wait. So those of you that love Oxy Water or was drinking Oxy Water with me, Brother Hot Tim has found a stash. Yes, yes, yes. So get up with me, all right? Next, I want to send out shouts to Unidade Capoeira, up under the leadership of Monitor Dentista, having classes in Cleveland. They also have classes here in Columbus at 3500 Refugee Road, the Millennium Community School, for those that are in Columbus. And for those that are in different cities and you're interested in capoeira, Google Unidade, Google Monitor Dentista, Dentista, and see if you can hook up with them. I'm quite sure you're available for workshops, because this is a form of martial arts that comes directly from our culture. And actually, it is hip-hop. It's a group of individuals practicing Sankofa. They went back, fetched it, and then cut and scratched it up and came up with a martial arts that is very effective and very beautiful and stylish. It fits right into the whole hip hop remix thing. So check it out. You know what I'm saying? I encourage you to get in touch with Monitor Dentista, and even if Unidade is not in your city and you get an opportunity to explore capoeira, by all means do. It's a beautiful martial art, and it is it's a style that requires a lot of flexibility and a lot of thinking. It helps build your strategy building skills. It helps build your sportsmanship. It helps you learn to compete against the most dangerous opponent that you will ever face, yourself. And it also keeps you in shape. All right. And also, in the last piece, they deal with Ashe, that life force, and teach you how to use it in your art and how to use it to improve your life. So plug into capoeira, you know what I'm saying? This is also, I want to send shouts out to Rescue, Release, and Restore. And from Rescue, Release, Restore, you got Simba and Simsa. I'm sending shouts out to the Simba Nation, because this is something that I love, something that spiritually feeds me. For those that don't know, Simba is an organization that works with young black men and help them, young black boys, and help them become men. It's a rites of passage process that we have been using for, this is going to be the 21st year that we've been using for over 20 years. And we have been very successful. And it was one of the motivating factors for me to get back out here and start doing a rites of passage process, because I don't like calling it a program, even though it is a program. But programs are so limited. You know what I'm saying? After the program is over, what happens? I'm trying to develop something that individuals can continue plugging into and continue achieving and striving to meet goals and objectives throughout their life. So that's what Rites of Passage is for me. It's not just something for young people. It's something for all of us, because I'm in Rites of Passage right now. I'm moving towards my senior nation builder status, and eventually I want to cross over into being an elder. And then after becoming an elder, I want to become what they call in the African village in Columbus an Asarian elder, and then from there move to be an honored ancestor. I want to die conscious. You understand what I'm saying? So that when I pass on, I want those individuals that know me to be able to benefit from, in a sense, remembering who I am, and that my energy will motivate them to do better in their lives, because they will see me always constantly striving to do better. Also, I want to send out shots to Barrios Unidos in California, as well as the Washington, D.C. Chapter. I want to send out shots to La Placita in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, that is. Also, I want to send out shots to my brothers and sisters in the Gathering for Justice, because that was a very powerful thing that I was able to link up through Simba. Also, I want to send shots out to Orange 82 for sending me music to use on the show. That comes in handy, and it keeps me awake. Like right now, I feel my energy dropping, so I'm gonna make the show short and sweet, and hopefully you get something out of it. All right, now I don't want to forget myself. So you can check me out at www. I'm Brother Hachim, for those that don't know. You can check me out at www.gye-nyamejourney.com. That's www.gye-nyamejourney.com. Check me out, Gye-Nyame Journey. And on that site, you're going to be able to find all my podcasts. And let me get the names. I have a new show called The Magic Hour, that is a hip-hop mix show that's hosted by DJ Kid Magic, and it airs once a week. And DJ Kid Magic has access to thousands of local artists out of Columbus and throughout the Midwest. We're going to try to expand it to start letting national artists on, not national artists that sign with these big slave plantations called record companies, but we looking for artists that are independent and bold enough to put their stuff out and able to sell their own stuff. We want to support local artists and then eventually move to helping local artists to become national artists. The goal of the show, the whole idea behind the show, because there's always something behind what I do. The whole idea behind the show is to take hip hop back. And the best way that I have come up with in my mind is to attack those that are trying to control hip hop by making hip hop local again. If you want to help guide the future of hip hop, what you need to do is to start promoting the local talent. Because right now, all the talent that the national corporations are putting out there are not working towards our agenda, but working towards the other's agenda. And that agenda is to promote a culture of materialistic, death-loving, hedonistic individuals. And what we want to promote with hip hop is, because there is some hedonism in all cultures. There's materialism in all cultures. But where is the balance? And what we want to present is a balance. We want to motivate other DJs and other producers who have tracks from local artists within their area to start using this internet to start broadcasting that music. Now, all of it's not going to be quote unquote conscious, because hip hop is not all about talking about the struggle. Hip hop is about having fun, but also it is parts of hip hop that are about being conscious. So what we want to do is, if you want to control hip hop and you want to be able to free yourself from just listening to the radio and the circles that they put us in, because if you listen to any station that claims to be hip hop all throughout the country, you could drive from New York to LA and basically listen to the same goddamn music the whole trip. The same 12 to 20 songs being played over and over again in an endless loop. And the only time a new song breaks is when the corporations feel that it's time for that. What I'm saying is, let's put an end to that, because Columbus hip hop has a unique sound. Cleveland hip hop has a unique sound. Akron hip hop has a unique sound. You know what I'm saying? Because you have individuals that are in those environments and they are absorbing that environment and they're broadcasting what they're seeing. Now, getting back to being able to control hip hop. Now, in order to really have a say-so in what is produced in hip hop, you have to give your support, not just monetarily, but you also got to give your support by paying attention to the artists that you want to blow, which is a lot of times is you purchasing their albums. And if you don't know that there's a hot artist producing the type of music you like, more than likely you're not going to support them. So what we're trying to do is give exposure to those artists within local areas that people can support. Because I want you to think about this. In Columbus, we have over 1 million people, and I'm guaranteeing that out of that million or so people, about 30 to 40% of them like rap music, or like quote unquote hip hop, small h. Now, if 30%, let's say 300,000 people were to start buying local artists before they went out and bought a lot of these national artists, you would have a nice pool of money circulating within the hip hop community within that local area. And what that would be able to do, it would be able to produce jobs for those artists and those artist crews. Now, as individuals start making money, they become more innovative with their skill. I mean, this is the capitalistic way, is it not? You know what I'm saying? Those things that are good survive, those that are not don't, unless you're a big bank. You know what I'm saying? That's when the rules change for you. But what I'm saying is, by embracing local hip hop, what you do is in turn support the community that hip hop is coming out of. So if you got an artist that is good enough to sell 100,000 CDs in their city or within their area at $5 a pop, you just generated $500,000 in your community. And I want you to think about that. You got individuals in your community that's generating $500,000. Those individuals are going to need to purchase things. Those individuals is going to need to put on shows. Those individuals is going to need to buy clothes. Those individuals is going to need to eat. Those individuals are going to need to spend that $500,000 to really, really advertise their stuff and sell more of their next CD. So what you will be doing is producing income within your local area. And by voting with your dollars on who you listen to, you would hopefully build up those artists that promote others to become that, if that's what you want. But if you want foolishness, then of course you can support the foolishness as well, and I'm not against that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, let's give the people a chance. You know what I'm saying? Give people an opportunity to pick what they want. So check out the Magic Hour. And like I said, you don't have to necessarily listen to what's going on in Columbus. You can put on the show for the city that you in, and send me a link so I can come and listen to what's going on in some of y'all cities, and maybe we can start exchanging some of our artists, and then begin selling it on a regional level, and then selling it on the national level, and then eventually selling it on the international level, because we're promoting it. You know what I'm saying? I know what I like. You know, I want people to be able to discover what they like. I had the opportunity to listen to both sides of hip hop and make my decisions. All right. And I want to make sure that our kids are able to do the same rather than being programmed by these radio stations who don't have their best interests at heart. They say they're community organizations, but we know they're not. We know that they are just franchises from a national body, and everywhere you go, they play the same shit. Why? You mean to tell me in these cities there is not local talent that could be promoted on these radio stations, that are good enough to be promoted on these radio stations, that have a quality sound and quality craftsmanship put into their work to not be able to be played on those shows? No, that's not the truth. That's not the fact. All of the best rappers don't come from New York. All the best rappers don't come from the South. All the best rappers don't come from California. Some of the best rappers are your neighbors. So get up off your ass and support local artists. And I ain't just talking about with hip-hop. You like jazz? Support a local jazz group. Go support them at their shows. Find out where they playing. Give them some support. If you like jazz, you know what I'm saying? If you like paintings, get out and buy some local. We got to start buying local because we start building up the economy. Now, I didn't want to get all into that, but check out the Magic Hour. It comes out once a week it usually drops on Sunday. So this week, be ready for some fire, because I know Kid is at the studio right now cooking up some magic for you, and I can't wait to hear what we got coming out this week. All right, and I appreciate the comments that we have been receiving, and I see that I'm seeing more and more people listening to the radio show every day. All right, my next show is of course Journey, which is what you're listening to now. Gye-Nyamejourney is just basically a talk show where I get on and I talk about what's going on as far as the community, the nation. I talk about spirituality, I talk about economics, I talk about whatever hits me. I try to keep it as uplifting as possible. Alright, so check out Gye-Nyamejourney. Also, I got Give Yourself Permission, which is a daily broadcast. Now let me explain what's going on with that. Those of you that's been following Give Yourself Permission know that within the last 10 days, I've been talking about habits and pushing the reset button on your life. Well, Brother Hatim, following his own advice, pushed the reset on my own life, and lo and behold, a bunch of shit popped off. And this shit is knocking me out. It's knocking me around. But the beautiful part about it is I gave myself permission to embrace the hardness, embrace the hardships, and to get the lessons out of them. And I'm getting the lessons. So this week I was bombarded by stuff, and I wasn't able to really get up and do the show the way I wanted to. But we will restart it next week and get busy with it. So if you like it, be sure to check in. I got over 51 sessions already, and I've really been blessed. So and I thank all those that's been listening as well. And if you have any comments or you have anything that you want me to cover, or you even have questions, please let me know. All right, hit me up. Also, I got Folk Tales for Grown Folks, which is one of my most popular shows. Right now, we're going through some Aesop fables, and I'm looking at the lessons that it give me. And I don't want you to stop with what I get. I would love to hear what you get from each story, because each story is a lesson. And I hope that you're getting your lesson, the message that it's saying to you out of it, so that you can use it to improve your life. It's called Folk Tales for Grown Folks, so check that out. So go once again, gye-nyamejourney.com. You could get my books, Player Pyramid. I got The Warrior's Handbook for Life's Journey, Gye-Nyamejourney Workbook, and Lost Art of Storytelling, and last but not least, my poetry book called Poetry is My Religion. Be sure to check some of that stuff out. Alright, so now I done did all of my shout outs, so now we're gonna get into the show. I know y'all like, damn, he ain't in the show already, but hey, that's the way life is. So check out this cut from Orange 82, Won't You Babe. I'm back. So here we go. Now, quickly, let's cover some of the stuff that I need to cover, and then I'm getting up out of here. And once again, I'd like to thank you for listening to gye-nyamejourney FreeStyle Friday. It was 2/28/14. Now we are at March 1st. The year is going fast, and hopefully, like I said, you're embracing it. You will joining me on Give Yourself Permission so that you can grasp everything that's coming to you in 2014 and beyond. We're moving above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? So check it out. Now, one of the things that I want to deal with today is fear. Real quickly, fear. Feeling everything as real. Some people also say false evidence appearing real. But we feel everything as real. You know what I'm saying? It's like people are overcome with fear, and what they do, because they feel that everything is real, they feel everything as real, their imagination becomes real. So they fear what's coming. I mean, they fear what's in their imagination. They fear that they know everything that's going to happen, and they stop themselves from growing. And in stopping themselves from growing, stopping ourselves from growing, we, in a sense, cut ourselves off from the blessings of the universe. See, because many of us believe that when we embrace our principles, when we embrace our Creator, when we change ourselves for the better, that the world is going to open up and embrace us, when in fact, by us becoming sane, by us becoming conscious, we become a threat to everybody else. Because as you know, being asleep and being unconscious is very comfortable. And who are you to act like you're awake? Who are you to even present a way for other people to wake up? See, we will prefer, a lot of us will prefer to stay asleep, so they don't want to be around nobody conscious. So what they try to do is to make sure that everybody stays asleep with them. You understand what I'm saying? So just because you are awake, that does not mean that everybody else want to be awake. Some people are enjoying the dream, and they don't want to be bothered with the things that you are bothered with, because it's a big responsibility being awake. You know what I'm saying? You become responsible for life, and some people don't want to embrace that responsibility. So stop trying to force that on people and just be you. See, and understand that sometimes you're going to have to walk by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Now, I was thinking about a way to illustrate this for you when I came, and I thought about Ice Cube. Ice Cube had a line, or he might even had a whole album that said something to the effect, if you're scared, go to church. And I thought about that because we have been taught that the temple, the church, the mosque, meditation, being a peaceful warrior is punkish. But let me clarify this for you. In all actuality, when you embrace your faith, when you embrace a principle, when you embrace an idea that's bigger than yourself, you actually have to demonstrate bravery beyond what normal people are used to. When you display courage and bravery beyond what normal people are used to, you are labeled as crazy or a troublemaker. Now, where am I going with this? Many people try, and they do try to hide in their temples. They do try to hide in their mosques. They do try to hide in their worship, which is, in a sense, the wrong place to hide. Because when you're hiding within your faith, you become the worst type of liar. You know what I'm saying? You're lying to yourself. Because the true work is not done inside of the temple, inside of the mosque, inside of the masjid, inside of these places. The true work is done out in the world, which means you have to be brave and you have to be bold. You know what I'm saying? Your principles are not practiced in private. If you practice your principles in private, you never know what you are weak at. You know what I'm saying? So living that type of life takes a certain type of boldness, take a certain type of bravery, take a certain type of risk taker. All right. Now, the story that came to me was that there once was a person. I'm not gonna say whether it's male or female, and they did everything they were supposed to do, or at least they thought they did. You know, they went to church, or they went to the mosque. They went to the masjid every worship day. They even went sometime during the week. They paid their tithes and they fed the poor within the church. And they did everything they were supposed to do within the mosque. They did everything they were supposed to do in the masjid. They did everything that they were supposed to do. And many people called these individuals, this person, a saint. So when it came time for this individual to pass away, they passed away and they approached the gates of heaven, of paradise. They approached nirvana, and there was a being guarding it. This being in some cultures is called an angel, in other beings is called a netaru, another being in other traditions is called a orisha. And this orisha awaited them at the gates. And as they approached, they start smiling because they knew in their heart they had did everything that was prescribed for them. But when they got to the gate, the angel, Orisha, Netaru, or whatever you call this being, would not let them in. And when asked why, because they explained, look, I did everything I was supposed to do. I paid my tithes. You know, I helped the poor. I went to all my services and I lived a proper life. The angelic being, the Netaru, the Orisha, that spirit looked at him and said, no, you didn't. They said, what do you mean? What do you mean I didn't? They said, you were hiding inside the temple. You were sent to the earth with a mission, with a skill to share. And because of your fear, you hid your gift that you were born to give to the world behind the mask of what you call your religion. And you cannot enter these gates. So either you need to go back and live your life to the fullest. I ain't talking about just partying, but living your life, sharing your gift, or you go to hell. So that's the story. I'm working on it. You know, I'm all my stuff is works in progress. But you know, I just was thinking about that because I know a lot of people that hide inside those walls. I know a lot of people that hide inside those principles. I know a lot of people that hide inside those quote unquote good habits, not really realizing that the work is often done outside. We strengthen inside so that we can deal with the things that's going on outside by living the example. We don't have to proselytize, but we can, at least in all honesty, live our life and do what we were sent here to do. Because when we don't do what we're sent here to do, then we're going to be faced like that person that approached that angel or Netaru or Orisha and were turned away because they hid their light under a bushel. They received money from the master, and rather than investing it and building upon it, they hid it away. You know, don't be that individual. Don't be that punk. Don't be a punk and just be hiding. Share what you got. Share what you got. Now, let me move on. All right, I got some life hacks, but I'm not gonna go through that. I'm gonna end the show because my energy is waning. So remember, feel everything as real, or feeling everything as real. Everything is not real. Our imagination makes things a lot worse and a lot more powerful than they really are, and we need to learn how to shut it up. Shut that imagination up when we need to. They say the imagination is an excellent servant, but a horrible and cruel master. Don't be ruled by your imagination. You rule your imagination and guide it to create what it is you want. All right. So I reset my life and I start finding some of the places where I was hiding, and I'm trying to come. Well, I ain't gonna try. I'm coming out of that. What I'm gonna do? Oh, last thing I'm gonna talk about. Then I'm done. I was already talking about hip hop. So what I did with my crew is, because I got family coming from all different types of tribes. And we wanted to do something, so we put together a hip-hop based rites of passage. I hate even use the word rites of passage. I like using the word self-mastery, but nobody really understand when I say self-mastery, because that's what the concept of rites of passage is about. But if you look at it from the outside in, the only thing you can call it is rites of passage. Rites of passage or self-mastery is something that you have to immerse yourself in, just like hip-hop. As a matter of fact, hip-hop is a tool that leads to self-mastery. When we look at the elements of hip-hop, each element requires some form of mastery, some form of skill that you need to become so good at that you could freestyle with that shit. That's hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about self-mastery. And all it takes is somebody with some insight to look at breakdancing and see how that can be applied to make the world better, and to look at graffiti art and demonstrate to others how that could be helpful in life, and how that could be helpful to other people, or MCing, or beatboxing, or street knowledge, which is for me my favorite one, and I believe one of the most underused aspects of hip hop. Also, there's other elements that in street fashion, street entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? There's elements that I know for a fact requires a certain level of mastery. And in mastering things, you have to make major decisions. You got to drop the bullshit to move towards mastery. You can't hold on to a lot of junk. You can't carry a lot of garbage when you're trying to master something. With mastery, what you start finding out is you got to start whittling down your life. Those that don't know what whittling is, you take a knife and you got a piece of wood and you just carve on it until you get the shape that you want. And that's the way mastery is. You have to shave things down, so every time you make a cut in your life, something falls off. And sometimes those things that fall off can be painful. They can be very revealing. And we have to be bold enough to do that. And the reason I formed this group, especially for the young people that's involved, I want them to understand the power that's there. I want them to be able to use that power, and I want them to be able to build on it. I'm not really, you know what I'm saying, if they want to become lawyers and doctors and politicians, I have no problem, no qualms about that. But I want them to be able to look at things through their cultural eyes. And our culture is, and I know some of y'all get mad at me, is bigger than Africa. You know what I'm saying? For me, a perfect definition of it's two perfect definitions for me. One is gye-nyame, and the other is hip hop. So, hey, this is Brother Hatim, and I've been on here talking for about 43 minutes. I'm about to get on up. I'm about to go home, get some sleep so I can spend some time with my kids in the morning. And I suggest you go and do the same thing. I'll probably be doing my mile and the smile. And I'm not going to do a show this weekend, but I will be jumping off on Monday And weather permitting, we're going to get into On Mile 3. Oh, that's another radio show I forgot about. On Mile 3. Be sure to check it out. This is Brother Hatim, and I'm saying thank you for listening. And I'll post the life hacks that I have, that I found. I don't want to go through them right now. So with that, I'm going to say peace. You have a great night, and I pray that your day will be as beautiful as you are. All right?